Hello, my name's Tom Cahill. The date's the 16th of October 2013. I just started doing YouTube videos the other day, and the general theme is the Aston Lloyd Ponzi Scheme. That was the catalyst which made me start making them, because I was a victim of it, and then about another 1,000 people are. And of course, following the Bernie Madoff case, the case precedent which has been agreed internationally is that any money that goes into a Ponzi scheme that then gets spent somewhere else, it doesn't matter if that's a legitimate business or not. The fact that that was illegitimately stolen, well, I mean, this is just common sense. It actually belongs to people who stolen off in the first place. So let's say you set up a car dealing business which is completely legitimate, and 5 stages away, you can see that money came from, say, my bank account. I was from my collective pot of money. I could claim the money off that car business. That's the way it works. Anyway, right. One of the things I seek to link it to, which I think I'm having quite great success doing, is all thanks to a firm called carter-ruck. Carter-ruck represent lots of people. In my experience, people who are in lots of trouble, people who are very guilty normally. I'm going to remember, right, these aren't people who've been charged with a crime or are awaiting crime, a charge. They think the police are going to arrest them or they're in custody. These are people who have not been charged by the police, and people have said things about them, and carter-ruck then step in and start threatening the people and try and put the fear of God into them. Obviously, it didn't work with me. I didn't even know who they were, and I just said, fuck off. If you were going to do it, you were going to do it. They try and put injunctions on people saying they mustn't say things. Now, the courts, as you may or may not know in this country, you're basically playing Russian roulette. Some of the judges, I wouldn't trust them as far as I could throw. Some of the things they come out with, I mean, it's quite shocking. You can't actually believe some of the things they say. They start making up new laws. They start pretending they don't understand things. It's quite shocking, some of the things they come out with. But anyway, thanks to Adam Tudor of carter-ruck. He was the one who represented Madeleine McCann, Madeleine McCann's family, when people were saying things like, why are you wasting all the money suing people, and why are you spending it all flitting around the world instead of following the obvious leads? Now, that was all dealt with by carter-ruck to great, I think, I don't know if it cost them anything. They're doing it on the free to get, even more sordid individuals would want to use them. But anyway, the point is, with this particular situation here, I started to realise that whenever I saw something bent happening, I would type in the person's name, something in the media or something. I would type in the person's name, and I'd put carter-ruck next to it, and 9 out of 10 times carter-ruck would come up as they'd be defending them and stuff. And with the Lord McAlpine cover-up, which you probably may or may not be aware of, is a cover-up. It's definitely a cover-up. There's no question about that. Carter-ruck were defending Sally Bercow. So what I would advise is that whenever you see anything to do with anything bent on the TV, or possibly something bent in your own life where you get, you can see something very bent going on and the people seem to be getting away with it. For instance, they're doing a crime and they're continuing to do it, and somebody said there's some legal action. Type carter-ruck in after them, and in Google, and I think it's very likely you'll see carter-ruck will pop up. As soon as you see carter-ruck pop up, you think, right, okay, they've obviously done it. I know it's not an exact science, but it's been 100% reliable for me to date. So Sally Bercow was being represented by carter-ruck, so they're stage managing her defeat in the courts. It's all a big trick. Now, right, this is where it all starts linked together and it gets very interesting, right? I'm a little bit apprehensive about putting things on the internet which could be proven wrong. I don't mind saying something that somebody will take me to court for, because they know they'll lose, right? Because I'm obviously not a stalking horse. I'm not a strawman who's been paid by some sordid private interest group or the intelligence services to mount a court case that loses. So I know I'll win. So see, this is the thing. And of course, the win is, there's different types of winning, isn't there? Because if somebody takes you to court for defamation or something like that, and it just brings more, and people look at the argument you've put in and they think, fucking hell, that's a good argument. We went to war with Iraq because some completely bent lawyer right at the top of the establishment said it was fine. Nobody thought it was fine, unless, they'd have to have something seriously wrong with them. So the only people who were for going to war with Iraq were private interest groups and psychopaths and sort of Satanists or whatever who just enjoy killing people. There's no legitimate reason to go to war with them, obviously, but you get the picture. So there's always some lawyer right at the top who'll go along and say anything. But politically, if they start doing things that are completely bent, people will catch on, and when they see these things, like it won't do them any good necessarily in the long term, but it might do their career, I wonder. But anyway, right, I put something up about Lord McAlpine, and what I was looking for like little clips to stick on the YouTube video, because you get what's called like something like a nominated thumbnail or something. It's kind of the thumbnail, which isn't just a view on the video. You can actually put a thumbnail, so when people see the videos in the right hand side, they see these little thumbnails. And there was like a quote from Lord McAlpine with a picture of him. Now, I was tired. It was the day before yesterday at night time, and I just stuck it up. Now, I think I had I can't even really remember where I got it from, because I was obviously tired, but I'm not the type of person who just puts something up which could be used to shoot me down, because you've got to remember that even if 90% of or 99% of what you say is true, people will start trying to pick up on some, because they're sheep. The general public, they'll start going, he spelt the person's name wrong, so therefore all the other things he said must be wrong. It's the same kind of thing. It's like they'll pick up on one small thing. Well, obviously I didn't spell his name wrong, but they'll pick up on one small thing, and then they'll go back and say that everything else you said is complete and utter rubbish, and you're a complete cunt for questioning the establishment, because that's the way the mentality is being driven into people to worship any bent authority that comes along, and not align themselves with anybody who says, hang on a minute, that's wrong, being a paedophile is not allowed, etc. That's becoming like revolutionary talk now in England right now. So then I had a look the next day, and it turns out that this quote that this Lord McAlpine had come out with, it basically describes the straw man as a good tactic to use in politics, where you mount an attack against yourself that you control. It's flawed, and it attacks something in a roundabout way that you've already been attacked about, or you think you're going to get attacked about, and therefore that fails. Then everybody else is scared, because they associate the failure of the straw man to attack you properly, because it was pushed down easily. That's why they call it a straw man. And then they're scared, and they get ridiculed, and they're very apprehensive, or people are very apprehensive about entertaining any further things along the same line. Right, so and so I was actually, and then I was shocked to find out that in 1999, not only had he just written that, something along the lines, and I'll put this quote up, this guy's written a whole book called The New Machiavelli, The Art of Politics in Business, Lord Alastair McAlpine, right? Now, this is the thing, right? Right now, I've just been looking into it a bit more, because you see, the thing with this is I understand how the patterns work. I understand how the power, I understand to a much larger extent than most people. I'm sure it gets a lot deeper, but I understand how things work. And, often I see patterns, so I don't have to kind of like research something, and then sort of interpolate it all and see how it fits together. I know how they do things. I know how the scum who run the country. So I can just guess often what they're going to do, because I know what their agenda is, and I know their sort of game plans. Do you know what I mean? It's like when you're driving along in a car, and a car sort of you can just tell that person in the car in front doesn't know what they're doing, or they're not paying attention. The car's driving along in a dead straight line. Somehow it's the same as that. It's not magic. It's everybody's got it. It's like intuition. Anyway, there's no genius involved. I can definitely assure you of that. But not watching the TV certainly helps to stimulate that part of your brain, because that's constantly veering you off and distracting you with irrelevances, or not giving you the full story, let's say, to put it mildly. Right, anyway, so this is another quote that I see that you can get from The New Machiavelli, The Art of Politics in Business by Lord Alastair McAlpine. So I'm just going to add this one on. Another option is for the business person to learn the art of dealing with the media, using all the tricks that go with the trade, such as the false defeat, when a person seems to lose in order to gain public sympathy, or the false triumph, where a person seems to win in order to appear strong, thus giving credibility to any number of dubious propositions that person may wish to make in the future. Neither of these ploys are examples of the use of true facts, or of false facts given to them, or false facts given to the media to chew on, much as a dog chews on a bone. Right, so he's actually said that. The other quote was actually more damning, but the fact he said loads of these things, they're basically all describing the straw man argument, and how it was all a fit up, and those disgusting lawyers who have gone along with it, Carter-ruck being one of them, defending, in inverted commas, Sally Burko, the scumbags. They're always doing stuff like this. They'll do absolutely anything. They have no morals. They should all be in prison, because they're not defending people who've been charged. Like, it's completely different. These are people who have been accused of stuff, or someone's just hinted something about them, they know full well what's happened. They know they're guilty, and they've sought to intimidate people and make up a false story to cover for it. So they're paedophile minders, which, minding paedophile, they are criminals. Make no mistake about it. I am accusing them of crime, and I have accused them of crime in the past, and that's why halfway through that trial, or was it just before it started, I sent Adam Tudor, who's my pen friend at Carter-ruck, I sent him the evidence of the Scallywag magazine accusing him in the past, and I said, all right, I dare you pay him out, and then, you're just going to have to find an excuse for how you've got this article's been sent to you in the future. So, because I knew they were going to pay him out anyway. It had all been basically predetermined. But you see, now this Adam, he'll be then pretending that he didn't get the email and all this stuff. Now, he wasn't the one who was dealing with that, I don't believe. It was someone else at Carter-ruck. But the point is, he got it. It'll just be sitting there doing his head in, hopefully. I don't know, because I think most of these people are cowards and they do not like it up, and that's one thing you can definitely guarantee. Right. Another useful ploy is the false accusation. First, create a situation where you are wrongly accused. Then, at a convenient moment, arrange for the false accusation to be shown to be false beyond all doubt. So that could be like an admission, when someone just admits it's all false, which is very weird, because if I've said something about someone of a serious nature, why would I just change my mind and say it's not true just because they said it wasn't? It doesn't make any sense, and I was very sorry and all that. Absolute bollocks. That's what Sally Burko's expected to have done in her head. It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Those who have made accusations against both the company and its management become discredited. Further accusations will then be treated with great suspicion. Always remember that people's memories are very frail. This is a very important one. Thank you, Lord McAlpine, you pedo. Right. Remembering only both the high spots and the lows of a person's career, and then seldom remembering accurately. People believe in the fact that it suits them to believe. As Margaret Thatcher herself once said of his work, this is a shrewd commentary. Those who take to Twitter should take heed. Right, that was a commentary by the guy that was a little line after the guy. But yeah, Maggy Thatcher thinks it's a shrewd commentary. Maggy Thatcher, who New Year'd with Jimmy Savile 11 out of 11 years that she was in office as Prime Minister. Right, and there's a D notice, a defence industry notice on all of her letters between her and Jimmy Savile. So Maggy Thatcher understood how you use paedophiles to manipulate people, and she surrounded herself by them. She loved paedophiles. You didn't get a look in unless you were a paedophile, similar to with our lovely royal family at the minute. Now, obviously I don't approve of it, but if that's the way things work in England, then possibly that's just the way it's always been, and that's the way it goes. But the point is, be very, very careful when you're dealing with these people, because a lot of the things that they actually are doing, they pretty much admit them anyway. And when you see these court cases and people getting accused of things and found guilty, take it with a large pinch of salt, because all it takes is, I think, for a high court judge to put for a few completely bent defence-based or establishment-based decisions that are completely bent, then they've got him on a. They've got him on the same lead as they got the pedos. If he's been sticking up for a paedophile case, or he's been sticking up for some kind of false weapons going to some country and saying that they've got weapons or something like that we've sent them, and they sort of say it's all right to go to war, those people then will get promoted. That's the way it works. The more bent you are, the more promoted you get. And then the mid-range people, some of them get promoted on honesty and stuff. But that's basically just window dressing. The main agenda must go on, and this is how it goes on. So thanks for watching.